this is Iron Inquisitor here, and boy, do I have a treat for all you people watching this. Okay, so someone did a list of all the dumb things that are in the new canon. And I'm going to read it. I'm so thankful someone made this list. Whoever made this list, I think I've interacted with you before, and I think you have seen my videos, so shout out to you. I know this will piss off fans of the new canon, and especially a certain troll, Logan Veracruz. All right, so let's begin. The Force Awakens. Starfighters waiting in hyperspace before coming out to attack Starkiller Base when the shield drops. Something we have never seen in any Star Wars media, and that would totally rewrite the very basics of how hyperspace works in interstellar warfare, Starkiller being another Death Star. Being able to see its beams on planets and other star systems when it fires, and them being bright and close enough for them to be seen on the planet's surface during the daytime. Being able to watch the beams go by in slow motion from a ship. Starkiller Base eating a sun but not being engulfed in darkness. Also, does it move each time it fires or not? Plus, is there just the fact that in the 20-odd years between the series, that much smaller and less equipped and less financed, or the much smaller and less equipped and less financed force was able to haul out an entire planet, come up with the tech, and use it as a weapon, all while building up their own fleet? This is a project magnitudes larger than the first Death Star's construction. And before you people say, well, how are they able to get to the money for all those EU super weapons? Well, in the expanded universe, if you read it, a lot of those weapons were already being developed prior to the fall of the Empire. So there was still money going into them. Let's see, what else? Stormtroopers carry around Riot Batons capable of stopping lightsabers. Well, it doesn't really make sense because, there's no Jedi. Why would they have something that would... Yeah, there are no Jedi left except Luke Skywalker, so why would they need that if they're not going to encounter a lightsaber-wielding opponent? Kylos' three-bladed sword. Yeah, I can agree with that because having a crossguard lightsaber is utterly pointless because lightsaber blades don't slide down each other like metal swords. When they clash, they can stick to each other sometimes. So you don't need a crossguard to protect your arm, or yeah, your hand, because in real life, with a real metal sword, when they clash, it can slide down and hit the crossguard, but you don't need it with a lightsaber. The Rathtar Creature. Yeah, the Rathtar Creature does look kind of weird, and I find it funny how people complain about the CGI creatures in the prequels, but literally, in like 2 decades, the Rathtars will look dated. Right? And the person who wrote this said, and while I love Rey and think there are good reasons she does so much so fast. I disagree with that, but let's see. There is still the fact that in one movie, she does things it took Luke 3 to do. And not to mention that that took place over a period of 4 years. And what did Rey do? She probably did this stuff in a few days or a week. Maz, who reads like an OC fanfic character who just so happens to be as old and wise as Yoda, while being force sensitive and having Luke's lightsaber. To be honest, I actually like Maz. I was kind of disappointed she wasn't in DLJ. She kind of reminded me of that one blind Jedi Master Tao. Or no. Master Zeo. That was his name. Zeo. He was a Jedi Master who had like a lightsaber cane, and he made like this soup that tasted. The flavor changed based on the state of the user. So if you were like kind of like evil, it would taste bad, and if you were happy, I don't know. It was weird, but it was interesting. Going to and coming out of hyperspace inside a gravity well, including Han coming out in between the shield and planet. What happened to it not being like dusting crops? Yeah, you can't go in and out of hyperspace inside a gravity well. And also, if they can do all that stuff, why didn't they just take off in hyperspace in atmosphere? It doesn't make any sense. Kylo stopping the blaster bolt in midair. If it was done in Legends, people would be saying it was more proof of power creep. Yet here it is hailed as an awesome new use of the Force and showing of Kylo's power. The opening crawl says that in the Republic, or says the Republic is supporting the Resistance, while in Bloodlines, which is a book, and the Poe comics show they are not. Ooh, contradiction in your precious new canon. Ooh, The Last Jedi. I mean, this one will be easy to tear apart. Let's see. A 60-kilometer long battleship called the Mega Class. A pink-haired New Republic admiral that looks like she would be more at home in the Hunger Games capital. Oh, so true. The Praetorian Guard's sword turns into a whip. Plus the fact that all the guards have super unique weapons and armor. I wonder why. A single X-Wing can take out all the cannons on a dreadnought. And before you people say, well, I don't know if this did happen in the original trilogy or not, but correct me if I'm wrong. Well, they shot the turrets on the Death Star. Well, if you really think about it, the Death Star, the first Death Star didn't have a shield. It didn't really need it because it was so massive. The bombers have to get sorry. The bombers have to get right above the dreadnought and drop their bombs like they were in a planet, or a gravity well would pull the bombs down. Yeah, honestly. The ship isn't actually gonna give off that... Isn't gonna give enough... Yeah, it's not gonna give it that... Give enough gravity to actually pull it down like it was on a planet. And it's not even the size of a moon. It's just gonna float off into space. The bombs, of course. Leia being blown out of space, or into space, and surviving the explosion, surviving in vacuum, without a spacesuit, and flying back to the ship with the Force. Super Leia! Leia Poppins! Luke milking a weird sea creature with large udders, then drinking it with the milk getting caught in his beard. Oh crap. The titty monster! Oh. Rey becomes a master with the lightsaber, though not getting any saber training from Luke. Before you people say, well, Rey, she already knows how to fight with a staff. Well, fighting with a lightsaber and fighting with a normal melee weapon is different. Lightsabers are much harder to handle. What else? And no, and you know what the new canon's explanation for this is? She downloaded the information from Kylo Ren. Oh god, that... Whatever. Finn and Rose leaving Crate and getting to Canto Bight, having their adventure and getting back to Crate all in under 16 hours before the fleet ran out of fuel. Time and distance apparently mean nothing, and the whole plot being pointless if Holdo only opened her mouth. Literally, oh my gosh. Oh wait, I have one more thing to say about the Rey not getting any lightsaber training. Before you people say, well, Luke didn't have any. Yes, he did. Obi-Wan trained him on the Millennium Falcon. And also, Luke had time to practice with the lightsaber for 4 years over the course of the original trilogy. And just because you didn't see it happen doesn't mean it didn't happen. If you can't imagine Luke practicing with his lightsaber in between the films, in between missions, then you have no imagination. I'm sorry. Rose crashes into Finn in the speeders and both survive. And Finn is able to drag her back to the base without getting shot. Yet literally, they could have just went and exploded them. Just like force projection Luke was getting shot at. Luke projecting himself all the way across the galaxy to Crate, and being able to touch and interact with people and objects as a projection. Also being able to create projections such as the dice that others can interact with and move about. As well as being able to create multiple different illusions that make them solid. And holding them while doing something else, like fighting. Huh. Yoda creating a storm and summoning down lightning to roast a tree. Yeah, literally. What about what Obi-Wan said? How he can't interfere if Luke chooses to fight Vader. It's kind of like that. The mini Death Star laser that the First Order uses as a drill to open the door. Yeah, people, if there's something like that in the expanded universe, they'd be like, "Oh, it's so dumb," but most of them would have no problem with this. Some of the aliens, such as the pair that are said to be from a different dimension. Huh, kind of like Waru. Rey and Kylo being able to talk and see each other all the way across the galaxy. Force Skype, literally. And before you people bring up how Kreia could communicate with the Jedi Exile, that's different. They could only basically communicate through their minds with telepathy, not this. Laser execution axes. Yeah, why not just shoot him? Why do you need some laser execution axe? Just shoot the damn prisoners. I think death by blaster would be more painful because you'd feel all the burns. Crystal foxes. Porgs. Alright, what's from Rogue One? The Boar Gullet, the strange quid-like creature that can invade people's brains and read their memories. This is something that if it was in the EU, people would say, "Oh, a space squid, that's dumb," but most people have no problem with it. And honestly, that feels like something out of a tentacle porn thing. Ugh. The U-Wing jumping to light speed on the surface of the planet as it's blowing up around them. No, sorry. Again, why didn't the Millennium Falcon or all those other ships jump to light speed on the surface of a planet? You can't do that. You can't do that around the gravity well and mass shadow of a planet. It's literally contradicting Star Wars lore. The over-the-top fan service of seeing two aliens who pick a fight with Luke in the cantina on Jeddah, just hours before it blows up. Oh, what's her face? Ponda Baba and Dr. Ezevan, or whatever his name is. Fleets being able to move across the galaxy in minutes, including fighters being scrambled and making it to a different planet to attack a target in less than an hour after being called in. Also in the climax, we see the same thing again, except instead of a single small squadron, it's an entire battle group. The AT-ATC. Hey guys, let's just cut out the middle of an AT-AT, put in a very Earth-like cargo container in the middle of it, and call it a new vehicle. Kyson Bog, who also appears in Afra number 16. A human with no head and his entire digestive tract exposed, but is still able to think, walk around, and go about his business like normal. Ugh, that's disgusting. That's gross. Alright, Solo. The Golden Dice. The Force Awakens visual guide says that the Golden Dice were played in a version of Sabacc called Corellian Spike and used to help Han win the Falcon. Except in the movie, they do not play Corellian Spike, nor does Han use them in the card game. Oop. The Maelstrom is the only way to get to Kessel, but it is not seen or referenced in Star Wars Rebels when they go to Kessel. Literally, you don't see it. There's no Maelstrom thing surrounding the planet. Inconsistencies, contradictions, take that, you Disney fanboys. The giant monster that lives in the Maelstrom. Space Cthulhu! Literally. Alright, TV. Star Wars Rebels 2014. Before we begin, there's something I want to point out. Many people say that Legends was bad because there's too few people were key to too many events. Yet in Rebels, this is one small rebel faction that has been the cause behind the rebellion, gaining every one of its fighters, bringing in new capital ships and meeting with, among others, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell Luke he's the last when Yoda talks to two of them, Leia, Bail, and Mon Mothma, along with Vader and Tarkin. Spark of Rebellion, Episode 1, Season 1. Bow rifles with its amazing ability to be both a shock stick and a blaster. An energy slingshot with its plasma gumball pellets. The fact that Jedi survived the Purge and that there are Darksiders hunting them down, which was seen as a bad thing in Legends. The Inquisitor's spinning lightsaber which doesn't really make sense given how lightsabers are supposed to work. The monstrosities that are the Wookiees and the child Wookiee in this episode. Huh. Literally helicopter lightsabers. Droids in Distress, Season 1, Episode 3. What a small galaxy. C-3PO and R2 get to be the first to practically the entire A New Hope cast that our heroes meet. Everyone, even non-Jedi, can apparently jump and fall great distances without getting hurt in this show. I'm just going to put it down once here. But there will be many more times this series where the AT-AT, AT-ST, DP, or TIE shoots point blank at the hero's feet and they just get knocked down with no injuries. Fight or flight. Ezra rides on the top of a TIE fighter while it's in flight at full speed and standing up straight without using magnetic clamps on his shoes or even using the Force to hold him down. His hair doesn't even get messed up. Rise of the Old Masters. The Inquisitor's spinning lightsaber, which really doesn't make sense. Yep. Kanan being able to catch Ezra with the Force after he fell such a great distance. Empire Day. Yet another new tie variant. Wasn't that a problem people have with Legends? Too many variants on things like ties? Literally, I've heard people complain about that, but literally, they're doing the same thing. Vader can casually lift up and toss an AT-AT. It was an AT-DP, not an AT-AT. And I don't really consider that to be something stupid because, honestly, that's actually not out of place at all for Vader's power level because Darth Vader is a badass. But I agree with the whole what he said before in this one. Path of the Jedi. The first of 2 times that Yoda will speak to Kanan and Ezra. Puts a hamper on Yoda's Last of the Jedi speech to Luke. Unless we just want to hand wave it away and say he was pulling an Obi-Wan and speaking from a certain point of view. And the birth of the lightsaber gun. I guess this is Final Fantasy VIII now. That looks like a staple gun. This new EU sure loves strange lightsaber designs. And what's really funny is Ezra is still alive. And Ahsoka are still alive even after Return of the Jedi. Sorry. I need to drink some water. Idiot's Array. Introducing Lando. Yet another OT character the hero just happened to run into. Fire across the galaxy. Ahsoka survived the Purge. This isn't just some no-name Jedi like Kanan who survived the Purge. This is Anakin's Padawan. And as we see later, she will have special, unique silver lightsabers. Because this new EU loves its different saber designs and colors. The Lost Commanders. 3 old clones using an AT-TE to fish in the middle of a desert for giant worms that live underground. Also, Zeb gets swallowed by said worm and is none the worse for it. Phoenix Squadron brings in the B-Wing because they are responsible for all the rebellion's fighters and bombers. And this B-Wing apparently has a mini Death Star type laser that can take out larger ships all by itself in one hit. Also, this new canon likes to release all of the ships one on top of the other or another compared to Legends that at least space them out. And this raises the questions of where the B-Wings and Interceptors defenders in Rogue One, A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back. Seriously, where were they? And also, if the B-Wing using a mini Death Star type laser had been in the EU, people say, "Oh, that's so OP!" Whoa. Princess on Lothal. And here the team meets Princess Leia Organa, yet another OT hero, and she sees Kanan and Ezra use the Force and lightsabers. Now, before you say, well, Starkiller or Galen Merrick from the Force Unleashed saw Leia. Well, she didn't see Galen Merrick do anything with the Force of the lightsaber. After he did all his stuff, she came out and then he picked her up. The Protector of Concord Dawn. Conquered Dawn has 1/3 of its mass blown into space, and it's surrounded by those asteroids, and the planet still has a breathable atmosphere, and people are living on it. Honestly, in real life science, most of that stuff would go back down. I don't know, it's science fiction. Legends of the Lasat. The bow rifle and a stick with a crystal on it make magic yellow electricity that picks out a planet on a holographic map of the galaxy. Then they have to fly by a giant glowing exploded star cluster, and they are guided out by everyone meditating a bow rifle and it flying them through the maze. The magic electricity is also able to activate the hyperdrive and take them through the cluster, even though the mass shadows would pull them out. Also, the hyperspace is a kaleidoscope of rainbow colors instead of a blue-white. Honestly, how is this bow rifle even able to do that? The call. Oh, where was I? Space whales that can fly through hyperspace and apparently taught the early explorers of the galaxy how to use hyperdrives as well. Or use hyperspace as well. Honestly, that's kind of stupid. Yeah. I like the idea, or the idea that it came from the Rakata Infinite Empire in the expanded universe is far superior. Also, Ezra, Kanan, and Sabine conduct a halo jump from the upper atmosphere, with the two Jedi stopping their fall using the Force. Also, I guess this small planetoid is like Kessel and has oxygen generators because people can walk around without the helmets. At the end of the episode, Ezra and Kanan walk around the outside of the Phantom in deep space in just a Stormtrooper helmet. Chopper's jets must have unlimited fuel and thrust. Not to mention, he can apparently use them to do flip-flops in the air, as well as other crazy stunts. Yes, it is for kids, but so are the Droids comics. Giant spiders that are apparently tough enough to be hit with full force blaster bolts from the Phantom's cannon at point-blank range and not be hurt at all. Their gooey web can also apparently hold down a spaceship that has enough thrust to escape the planet's gravity. Kanan and company fall a dozen or more stories to the ground without getting hurt or using the Force to slow their fall. Now the spinning sabers apparently work as sabercopters and let the Inquisitors fly around on them. They also have spinning metal blades on the rim, because being spinning lightsabers that let you fly apparently wasn't enough. Maul is back again. The guy just cannot and will not stay dead. Also, apparently the Sith Temple is an ancient super weapon much like the Death Star. The new EU likes super weapons as well as Legends did. Plus, both survive being at the center of Ahsoka survives her fight with Vader after being locked in the crumbling temple with him and no escape route. And that was explained later, but they'll probably get to it. Plus, both survived being at the center of an explosion that is shown ripping up the ground. And Maul survives his fall to fly away at the end. Guess the new canon can't kill people either. We have Phoenix Squadron stealing Y-Wings because, again, they are responsible for every rebellion starfighter. We also get the Bendu, some sort of near immortal force-using creature. It looks like a giant ox. Space moose, more like it. And is immensely powerful in the Force. Also, we will later learn that we also later can conjure force storms and lightning to target fighters. Unlike many think the Bendu is not the final say on the light and dark side, just a force wielder. And the Ghosts and the Rebel fleet are able to make it from their base to the station in a matter of hours, because distance and time mean nothing in the new EU. Apparently now the Sith and Jedi holocrons can fly apart and come together like a jigsaw puzzle in an amazing show of light and grant the user with the Force visions and knowledge. Because yeah, I'm sure the two orders that hate each other designed their most sacred relics to respond and work together like that. Interceptors are now apparently a common sight 3 years before Yavin. Also, a single interceptor with its blasters are enough to rip through the hull of a GR 75 medium transport, shields and all, and cause it to blow up in a spectacular fashion. Also, here our heroes meet yet more of the OT heroes as they set out to rescue Hobby and Wedge. The Super Commandos jetpacks apparently have limitless fuel, the speed of a fighter jet, and extremely high flight ceiling. The same goes for Chopper's booster rocket. Apparently AT-ATs can get up and lay down like horses to squish unsuspecting rebels. Excuse me. Also, the TIE Defender is introduced way before it was in Legends, which isn't that bad, but a lot of people seem to have a thing against there being so many TIE variants. In the Nightsisters lair, Maul tells Ezra he has studied the ways of the Nightsisters and come up with a spell that suits their needs. This spell involves pouring magic water that focuses their power into an altar into glasses. Maul explains that they have to drink the potion in order to access this knowledge. Ezra insists that Maul go first. Maul complies and tells Ezra he must drink all the magic water for the potion to work. Ezra and Maul's eyes shoot out radiant green beams of light that form a green cloud. Yay, weird green voodoo space magic! And also we have two spirits of fallen Nightsisters appear again, breaking the no Sith Darksider ghost rule. These ghosts also possess Sabine and Kanan. Literally. In the new canon, Darksiders can't become Force Ghosts, but here they are, Darkside Force Ghosts. Warhead. In this episode, we have a very acrobatic assassin droid that is like a mix of Mr. Fantastic and a pair of salad tongs. Because now everyone in the new EU can use a lightsaber as long as they get some basic training, it's becoming less of a weapon of the Jedi and a weapon of whoever took a fencing class once in college. Honestly, it makes lightsabers not unique because, I mean, you can use a lightsaber without being force sensitive, but it's incredibly difficult to do. But now here they have everyone can just use a lightsaber and be good. Today's OT character of choice is Counselor Mon Mothma herself. Hera and Chopper destroy an Imperial vessel by reversing a data feed to their memory core, and the data overload causing the surveillance vessel to explode. Also, AP5 turns the show into a musical while floating in space. Twin Sons. In this episode, Ezra will meet Obi-Wan and possibly see Luke in the distance. Yep, except for Han, that is every single OT character at this point. The Bendu can disappear and turn into clouds, creating a giant force storm. He can also use the lightning from the storm to hit everything from troopers to walkers to ships and fighters. Also, again, we see ships covering vast distances between systems in a matter of hours and being able to return back just as fast. Mandalorians taking out an 418 immobilizer with blaster pistols, and an orbital bombardment that doesn't live up to its hype. Sabine has created a super weapon, the Arc Generator, that is capable of targeting any specific material, like Mandalorian iron or plasteel, and disintegrating whatever it is inside. Plus, Chopper is able to fly as fast as long as the troop transport and the Mandalorian jetpacks have unlimited amount of speed, fuel, and acceleration, including catching up and overtaking a TIE fighter. Also, opening a TIE fighter's cockpit without messing with the aerodynamics. Death Troopers are taken out by the rebels with casual ease. Stormtroopers get beaten up by cats. Sabine is a better pilot than professional pilots. Talking wolves put Sabine to sleep. Wolves have teleportation powers. TIE Defender crashes into a Gorzanti cruiser, which causes it to go off course, crashing into an Imperial Star Destroyer and destroying both. Kanan is able to hold back the explosion of the Imperial Field Depot by himself. Kanan's eyes are regrown just before he dies. Kanan apparently became a giant talking wolf after he died. Rook. Wait, they brought back Rook from the Thrawn trilogy? Huh. Rook can press a button and turn himself invisible. When they defeat Rook, they paint him and tie him up like a party favor and send him back on a speeder. Rebels again teleport Ezra and the whole Ghost crew through hyperspace to travel from one side of the planet to another. Putting your hand against a painting causes it to come alive and opens a portal. This random outer rim planet has a temple that time travel can be used in. It can be used to save people from dying as well, such as Filoni's pet Ahsoka. And putting your hand against the temple painting again causes the temple to vanish into air. Time travel in Star Wars! Oh my gosh. In Legends, there has been people who got caught in a hyperspace anomaly and transported themselves to the future. But there's never been anything as dumb as this. Rebels finale. Space Wells teleport in and kidnapped Thrawn. Space Whales defeat frickin' Thrawn. Oh my gosh. Star Wars The Clone Wars, or Dave Filoni's Clone Wars to be specific. Introduction of Admiral Trench, aka the anthropomorphic spider leader of the CIS division of Christophsis. This episode also introduces the idea of clumsy and cheesy battle droids that we've seen all throughout the series, which is odd with them being robots. Yeah. Well, if you were to take the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series as being Comp Noir propaganda, I guess that would make sense, maybe. Jedi Master Imma die. As in, I'm gonna die. I would mention everything Jar Jar related in this episode, but that's just being a dead horse at this point. And I'm just gonna go ahead and skip all the Jar Jar stuff in the other episodes as well, and also not going to touch how much they changed Ryloth from how it had been depicted in every other form of media in the past 20 years. Introduces the Nebrae mantas as a species of giant mantas that live in space. While cool and interesting, it's like the maligned Oswaft from Legends? Huh. I've never heard of that. Placing ATEs on asteroids to take out enemy capital ships is both crazy and awesome. And I guess the clone armor is rated for prolonged deep space works, since they are wearing their regular armor while on the asteroids. Jedi cruisers jump to hyperspace inside of a gravity well. Little lemur aliens that look just like Earth lemurs. They they travel into turning into a ball and rolling around like Sonic. Also, the planet is way too close to that sun if it's that large and visible from where they are. More Highland Scots lemurs this time with a cartoony mustache twirling evil general. Honestly, I'm not going to talk about that because Jedi are powerful, you know? Aside from crazy Dr. Manglis X-Spy, there is yet another super weapon prototype. The fourth in this season alone. I guess it's something TCW and Legends has in common. Lots of super weapons. Let's see. Embo can apparently survive being hit point blank in the chest by a cannon from a tank. And Pick Hondo's pet monkey lizard is able to dive, aim, and fire said tank. The Zillo Beast. And here we have yet another super weapon in the proton bomb. Also, we get the Zillo Beast, the silly looking monster with the impenetrable hide who will go on to terrorize Coruscant, and then after being killed will be sent off to be cloned. Sorry, this creature doesn't seem Star Warsy at all, and just like to a blatant homage to alien or monster movies. Also, the Dugs riding their mounts into battle. What is with TCW having armies riding biological mounts into battle? Having said mounts go fast as speeders. Or faster in the case of the Dugs, attack with lances and pikes. Also, again, the clones and droids march in straight lines, like it's some Civil War reenactment. Also, why bring it to Coruscant to begin with? After all those people killed, you would think Palpatine would get some kind of backlash from it. That next one's not really a big thing. Genosian zombies and brain-controlling worms. Oh my gosh. You people complain about the Death Troopers, but you have no problem with the zombies? Huh. The Mandalore Plot. And here we have the introduction of the Darksaber. No, not the scaled-down Death Star created by Hutt gangsters, but a lightsaber that happens to be pure black and leaves an after image in the air whenever it's swung. It at least made a bit of sense back in Legends, but now with what the new canon has said about crystals, is it even possible to get a black blade? Oh, and of course, it's in the form of a katana, because katanas are the best swords in every universe. Also, I'm not even touching what they did to Mandalore and the Mandalorians. Oh, I guess we can say here's the start of the new expanded universe's idea that anyone can fight with a lightsaber without being a Jedi as long as they get enough training. The Hutt Council, which is supposed to be a council of the leading Hutt clans, and aka the biggest badass gangsters in the universe, looks and acts like a joke. Also, while I have been holding off on saying anything about Zero in any of his appearance, all of his scenes in this episode are just unbearable, especially the so-called romance stuff with him and the singer. Also, the stuff with Zero's mother is just so counter with how all the Hutts are displayed in basically every other story. Not to mention, Hutts are supposed to be hard to take out with blasters. Oh, not to mention what they did to... Is this the episode where they fricked up, frickin' Quinlan Vos? Or Quinlan Voss? They basically turned him into, dude, I'm a total hippie. I'm a stoner, surfer gnarly. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. And it doesn't even fit with the EU. Quinlan Voss shouldn't even be there. He does not have his general status. That's another EU retcon I'm going to have to cover. Yeah, I agree with that about... Yeah, Dathomir is a large rush in Legends. Was a large, lush world with multiple different types of ecosystems and fauna. Not the purple toxic desert we see. Also, they had rancors that they rode. Nightsisters were human and offshoot of other inhabitants of the planet. The clans of Force Witches. They didn't look like an entirely different alien species. There were no Zabraks or Night Brothers. In fact, the Legends Nightsisters would never dream of teaching a male how to use the Force. There was no space sports specifically because if there were, there would have gotten rid of a main part of two different book plots. The power, or just the Force, and not some weird green voodoo mist magic. Filoni did get it retconned to just being the Force, not actual separate magic. And there was no weird Force zombies or voodoo magic attacking people with voodoo dolls. In the end, they all have in common with their Legends counterparts. It is a name, and then they use the Force. Alright, yeah. I'll just go on. Bows that have plasma string and shoot arrows of plasma. Also, apparently Mother Talzin can fly. She can fly. Oh my gosh. Strange green glowy magic water and a smoke that can heal people and make them stronger and make them invisible. Oh, it has to be accompanied by some strange voodoo-like dance. Oh, and at this point it's supposed to be magic unrelated to the Force, according to George Lucas. It won't be retconned into Sith sorcery Force powers until later. Alright, I have to do something. I wish I could continue this. I will turn this into a two-parter, so, I'll get back to this. Because I have to go to work now, so... Have a good day, people, and maybe we all live long and prosper. See you in part 2.